Oh my gosh, Chloe.
I be in a loop, she be in a group. Brody want a friend.
Hello. Welcome to another video of me reading Reddit stories. I did read one story already and I recorded it. Let's just say we might only be reading like 2 scary stories and then one really good story. One really good happy story, like the happiest story of somebody's life, because I just read a story from someone and honestly I feel like they weren't supposed to post that story like that. Like no one on this planet was supposed to know, and they probably just really needed to get it off their chest, but I don't think so. I didn't want to be a part of that. So we're gonna read another story, and it's a lot shorter and it don't seem as scary. This was posted 4 hours ago. So it's okay. The person saying it's called Friend from Memory. It's not really a scary story. Back in 2015, I was 9 years old. As a young kid, I used to play with my neighbors all the time. We played all types of games, football, hide and seek, etc. Back then, Matt was my best friend. Do y'all remember having a best friend? Like a best friend that was in your like neighborhood? Like, do you really like recollect on like how y'all treated each other? Because sometimes I remember, like I used to live, well, I didn't live there, but I used to go over to my aunt's house all the time. I used to have a friend that I used to want to play dolls and stuff with. I used to go over to her house and stuff. Like now that I think about it, like I don't even remember ever seeing her like family. I just remember going up to her room and we would bring toys down and we would bring them outside. But I remember she used to make me like carry everything, like make me push everything, make me do all the stuff. Like, when you think back to certain like friendships, like small, like little kid friendships and younger friendships, you just be like, wow, you really Anyways, let's continue. Back then, Matt was my best friend. Matt was a quite fat kid. He had dark brown hair and brown eyes. He used to live right next to my house. We used to celebrate holidays, New Year's, etc. One time we played hide and seek with other kids. Matt and me were seekers. At one moment, we separated from each other. After a while, I got bored and was just trying to find Matt. After a while, I found Matt at my yard. He was just searching for something in the grass. He was wearing white shorts and a white shirt. I tried calling him a few times, but he didn't budge. All of a sudden, he just turned around and started chasing me. Okay, let's take a pause. So, you're telling me that y'all was like 9 years old, y'all playing hide and go seek, you pull up, you try to find your friend, and then imagine your friend is like turned around from you and you like, yo, come on, what's up? And then they standing there like, well, I guess he don't even know what he looked like, but he's standing looking at the grass. And then all of a sudden they turn around and start chasing you. Boom! Bop! Doom! Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay. He didn't budge. All of a sudden, he turned around and started chasing me. As a child, I just thought it was a game. After that night, Matt didn't hang out with me anymore. After a month, he moved away. After a few years, I asked my parents what was Matt's last name. They didn't know what Matt I was talking about. I asked my old friends about him, but nobody knew what was I talking about. Apparently, Matt didn't exist. Sometimes when I pass my yard, I still see him on. No. After a few years, I asked my parents what was Matt's last name. They didn't know what Matt I was talking about. I asked my old friends about him, but nobody knew what I was talking about. Apparently, Matt didn't exist. Sometimes when I pass my yard, I still see him on the end of my eye. Who was he? What was he? Still don't know from this day. That's not too scary. I'm telling y'all, the first one that I read, that one was actually kind of scary. Y'all don't even need, y'all, you have to pay me to read that story, because I ain't reading that story again. I don't think nobody was supposed to know about that story that I read, the first one. But this one's not that bad. But this one kind of makes me think about like the friend I was talking about. Like, I swear I don't recall like ever meeting her family. But I do remember like my cousins, she existed. Let me stop trying to make her into a ghost. Because my cousins, definitely I remember saw her. And I remember one time they told me to come back over to the house because she had brought out a big dog, but they had no leash for the dog. And she was the one walking them. So they told me, come over here because you don't know what that dog gonna do. But yeah, that's not too scary, but that's kind of weird that he chased them. It's really weird how like stuff can happen in our lives and you just can't have there's no explanation. There's no explanation. I'm scared to read this because the comment actually look kind of after this, it's the last scary story. Okay. It says, creepy experience I had as a kid. This story takes place summer of 2014. I was around 9 years old. My mom had to go away for a work conference for about a week. So she sent me to go spend time with my grandmother for a week, who lived in a different town. Now, I wasn't too terribly excited about this, as I was still pretty young and wasn't used to being away from my parents for so long. But my grandma assured me that there was a pool near her house and that we could go swimming there every day if I wanted to. This made me feel a lot better. So as promised, the first day I was there, my grandma took me to the store for a new bathing suit and off to the pool we went. I remember my grandma telling me that she would be sitting in the hot tub with her and her friends, and I was allowed to go and play by myself, and she'd come get me when it was time to leave, before allowing me to run off and play. The first thing I remember doing is running up the stairs to the water slide. I was super excited when I got to the top until I saw there was a few people in front of me in line. I don't really remember anything about that moment other than being frustrated that I had to wait. Finally, there was just one person in front of me, a boy. He looked around 18, 19. He was sort of scruffy looking. I don't remember a whole lot other than for some reason he just looked odd to me. Anyways, as he was about to go down the slide, he stopped and turned to me and asked, "Hey, do you want to go down with me?" Interesting. You want to go down with me? Down the slide? Why are you trying to go down a slide with me, dude? You grown 18-year-old, 19-year-old. Mind you, this person said that they was only 9 years old, and this 19, 18-year-old trying to go down the slide with him. You're not my cousin. You're not my brother. You're not my dad. It's giving, okay. Anyways, he was about to go down the slide. He stopped and turned around and said, "Hey, do you want to go down with me?" A little startled by the question, I stumbled over my words and politely told him no thank you before he turned and continued to go down. Even though I was only 9, something about that interaction felt extremely off to me. Exactly. And I hoped that he wouldn't be on the slide again the next time I went. I go down the slide and reach the bottom. As I get there, I see him, the boy I had just talked to, waiting for me at the exit of the slide. As I went to stand up, he extended his hand and helped to pull me out. "Hey, I'm Toby," he said with a cheery tone. Like I said earlier, this guy was incredibly off-putting to me, and in the back of my mind, several red flags were going off. Always listen to your intuition. Always listen to your intuition. I don't care if it ends up being wrong. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the intuition. When it's like necessary, like really necessary, like you feel it in your gut. When you start getting more in tune with your body, you feel it in your gut, and it's like in the back of your head. Like just. He said with a cheery voice, "Like I said earlier, this guy was incredibly off-putting to me, and in the back of my mind, several red flags went off. However, I was only 9, and a 9-year-old me didn't think it was a fair judge to judge a book by its cover. Judge a book sometimes by its cover. So I smiled and told him my name. He continued by saying my name was very beautiful and asked me if I wanted to go down the slide together. I said yes. But you already had said no the first time. Why is he asking you to go down the slide again? And where's the grandma? Where's the grandma? Grandma needs to be paying attention to her grandson. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I said yes. Throughout the day at the pool, me and Toby continued to hang out. Finally, after being there for a few hours, so grandma let you hang out with Toby, a 19 to 18-year-old. Best time of my life. We're gonna type in best time of my life. Let's see if people write stories about the best time of their life. I'm a 33-year-old man, and a song just made me cry for the first time in my life. Aww. I don't think that's a long story. Best time of my life. So I just saw the prime time of my life. Okay, somebody said, when I was in college last year, there was a COVID outbreak and no physical class was allowed. All the students were trapped in their dorm room, and we were forced to take online classes in dorm. Honestly, it was not bad at all. But I'm home now taking online uni classes. It's the worst experience ever. I hardly concentrate because there's so much more distractions at home compared to a dorm. Online class doesn't suck. The place where I study is the real culprit. For me, home just isn't the place to study. It's a place for me to rest. Yeah, to be honest. Like, I feel like your home is like your sanctuary of safety, your sanctuary of relaxation. Like, I don't really want to bring work home unless it comes to like creating. Like, when it comes to like creating something, yeah, but when it comes to like working home, I don't think I can do that. Me personally, I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna just get too distracted. I'm gonna be like, oh, well, maybe I should just go drive outside real quick, or I should go take a walk. Should I come back to work? For me, home just isn't the place to study. It's a place for rest, to do my hobby, to have a good time with family. Online class at home is pure suffering. Not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna be a Rick roll. What does that mean? I'm reading comments. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it. My grades, not as much as I say. Originally, I thought it was the best year of school, but oh boy, how I was wrong. My grades plummeted, and after school reopened in person briefly, it was literally hell. Yeah, I really do feel for people who had to do online schooling, like for the rest of the year, like for a solid year. I did online schooling for a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of hard to like concentrate. Because it's like, do y'all want me to cheat or do y'all want me to be for real? Pick one. Pick one. But I guess with those situations, they would rather you have tried to go to a library. But how am I supposed to go to the library if it's COVID? Or maybe go to a park, but then I would get distracted by the trees. Somebody else said, I know, right? I loved online school. The conferences almost never lasted the whole period and the homework never took long. So it basically, like, I was still on break with all the free time I had edited. After reading some of other comments, it seems like I was lucky it was like that for me. Somebody else said, online school for me is the same work all assigned at 10 a.m. I get all work done in like 2 to 3 hours, major projects like 5 to 6, but then I don't have to do it the next day. Basically, it's the same work for the less amount of time. I can wake up when I want. Yeah, it has its pros and cons. I think it just depends on your mental stability, the environment. Like it's a it's a mixture. Somebody said F school, F online school. I can't learn anything. I can't focus at home. The teachers just give homework, which due tomorrow. Homework I don't understand, and the teachers barely explain it. My grades were already bad, but now they are gone down even further. Somebody said inner peace. Inner peace. Exactly. Like, yeah, that's what happened to me. My grades went bye-bye. But for the subjects that I really love, like the English and art, they went high. They went top notch because I could just like focus on them easy. Like that's stuff that I'm like really, really into already. And like history, arts, like the science of arts, like all that I was into. So I like passed that with flying colors. The other stuff, a little questionable. That was fun. I'm gonna read some more stories. Let's see if I can find one more. Looks scary. Worst vacation. What is the worst vacation story? I went out to Vegas to meet up with a friend of mine. He was super enthusiastic about the idea. I got us a killer deal on a top of the line room, 5 stars. I flew and he lived much closer, so he decided to rent a car. He arrives, checks his credit card balance, and freaked out because his available credit was $500 less than he assumed it'd be. I told him that was the security hold they put on the car and he'd get it back when he returned the car. But he said he'd never heard of that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that either, and I don't like that. Why? If I'm paying y'all already $200, why are you taking $500 from me? That you know, if I'm renting a car and I need it because I'm trying to travel, and I already gotta put gas in it. So you mean I need to have a double of the security deposit? What if that $500 was for my vacation? Goodness, why do they do that? I don't like that. And B, he assumed he spent $229 a day on the car and not the $29 a day he thought he'd be paying. That's tough, bro. This sent him into a wild, depressive tailspin. Not gonna lie, that would have made me like kind of sad too. Kind of sad, but kind of not. Like, I would have been like, okay, at least I'm getting it back. But Brody, we can't do too much because if that 500 seemed like that was like his money, he was gonna try to be fun with you, and now it seemed like they done jugged him, and I would be kind of bummed out too because I can't really do as much as I wanted to with you. This sent him into a wild, depressive tailspin. I told him just call the CC company and verify that the charge was for, but he refused and decided to mope instead. Okay, after when you give certain people solutions to a problem and they decide to just stay in the mindset of not trying to solve the problem, I can't be around people that long. I can't be around you that long because if I gave you a solution and you denying the solution, you want to be a victim? Like, do you want to stay in that mind? Like, do you want to stay in a pain mindset? Do you not want the solution? Or do you don't want to transmute the problem? Or do you want to stay in the problem? I'm confused. This sent him into a wild depressive spin. I told him just call, okay. But he decided to mope instead, blaming me for his sudden financial peril. Oh, that's when the trip is done. You're blaming me? No. On our second full day there, he saw an ad for a $8.95 prime rib dinner and wanted to go. I told him it was most likely an early bird deal, so we better get there early. But he dawdled. Can I read? What does that say? Dawdled. I don't know what that says. I don't think my brain can read that. I'm just gonna skip that word. And frittered around for no reason. Then we got to the place and the guy at the door said, no, that's the early bird and it's $14.95 after 4 p.m. He flipped out and stormed away. Oh no, he's a grown child. He flipped out and stormed away. He got back to the room at 8 p.m. and he angrily went to bed. I said there was no way I was going to freaking bed at 8 o'clock. I was heading out to go have fun. I ended up winning $1,200 on a slot machine. That's dope. That's what I'm talking about. I need to go to Vegas. I need to do a little betting. Just for fun. Like, make the pendulum swing. The next morning is my birthday. It's your birthday too and he acted like this? He better calm down. The weather was immaculate and I had $1,200 in my pocket. When I told him about my lucky streak, he got all mad. Now he jealous. But you're telling him because like now, bro, you're like, bro, it's good. Like now I got more money, so we gonna be good. Like I can take care of you. And you getting your $500 back once you turn in the car. Like calm down. When I told him about my lucky streak, he got all mad and then proceeded to pout, sulk, yawn, look at his watch every 5 minutes. After trying and failing to drag him around, I said, hey, you might as well get the F out. It's 3 p.m. and I like to salvage my last day here without you gunking it all up. He left and never even wished me a happy birthday. That was not your friend, bro. That wasn't your friend. He did you a favor. The next day, I was boarding my flight home and he calls me. He said, hey, guess what? You were right. The car was only $29 a day. Isn't that funny? The audacity. I said, yeah, hilarious. Thanks, asshole. Thanks, a-hole. It ruined the friendship and I haven't seen him since. Yeah, honestly. Let's see the replies. Somebody said, he's a loser. Somebody said, there's a coda to the story that makes it even worse. Around 5 months later, he called me and breathlessly told me how he just gotten back from Vegas, where he had a great time, then implied that the issue with our trip was that the hotel was too nice and too expensive. His share on our trip was $225 for 4 nights in a suitcase with a full kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and a salt in the wound. He only paid $225. Can he please go to sleep? That was pretty good. That was some good stories. Well, that was entertaining for today. I hope you guys enjoyed them, because I enjoyed it. Honestly, the first story I wish I did not read, because I'm telling you, I don't think they were supposed to post that. But I digress. All love and light, and I'll see you next time. Beat the case and get probation. Stashed at my mama house for 100 bands.
Now look how I'm living, I bought a house for the money to stay at. Right when niggas think that I got soft, I'ma pull up and spray it. Living like a dumb, I smoke a blunt in the back, you done made that. Put up like your mama with this switch, why the fuck would you say that? You can do it first, I'ma do it worse, gotta double the payback. Never take